Welcome back to just a build order guide. I'm going to talk about two openers that I've been working on quite a bit recently. I'm getting ready for the next season, and I have been doing just a whole bunch of custom games to practice for the past couple, probably a few weeks. So I only have a little bit more time left. This is on the 23rd is when this season ends, and today it is the, it doesn't say it there, it is the 8th, should be going up on the 9th. So I've got about another 2 weeks before I'm going to start laddering again. Yeah, just exactly 2 weeks when this video goes up, I'm going to be laddering again. So I've got the openers of two of my builds I'm going to do. I took both of these off of Cyril, and I wanted to kind of show you the cool things about each one of them today. So this is... Cyril has basically two openers. I've been watching a lot of his games recently, and has two main openers that he does. One is Ling Queen, and one is
Good luck. Have fun.
Roach's openers. So I'm going to talk a little bit about where these put you and what you have against them. Usually he goes this Roach opener if he's expecting like a whole bunch of Hellions or something like that, or like a 1/1/1 from Terran. He does a lot against Protoss, but this build, this Zergling build, is specifically for his Terran matchup that he did against Hero Marine and Bunny in, not Hero Marine, but Bunny in the recent Home Stories Cup. So you're going to see some interesting things about this build, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. But the most important, the cool thing about this build is it doesn't have an 18 or 19 Overlord. It skips it to get the third hatch out really, really quick. So he delays his speed and gets a quick hatch, is one of like the downfalls of this. So I would say the weak part of this build is super early aggression. If they're going to do some sort of a one base or something like that, this is giving you speed late, and it puts you a little bit behind, but it does set you up for a really, really nice economy. And that means that this Overlord right here, when you're doing your first scouting, is so important to not lose it. So he always goes towards his third first before he goes across the map. Because you're not going to get this 19 Overlord here, you really have to be very careful about losing that Overlord. It's going to put you in a really hell of a bad supply block. So because it's kind of greedy and because it delays speed, he's going to go scout towards his third first to see if there's any proxy or anything like that. If you don't see a proxy, then here's what you're going to do. You're going to wait till about 60 gas, and you're going to start pulling off. So here, I've got... I'm pulling off my drones here. Sending one to my natural, one to my third. And this bad boy should get there right about as I get 300 minerals. There she goes. So got my third going down. Now I'm going to start my queen production as soon as those finish. And then this is right when the Reaper comes in. So I'm screwing around with the Reaper, and then I get the speed. So I have... Cyril always puts his spawning pool on one of his hotkeys down here, so it doesn't need to click it, actually. Now this is another really crazy thing about this build, is you're going to go creep tumor first at your natural, because you're going to make so many queens in the beginning, you're not going to really have the larva to spend. Getting more overlords and stuff like that right now. Just placing some overlords around is what I'm doing. But I've started a third queen immediately. I'm going to scout what kind of tech he has at his third right about then, and then I'm moving back. Start about 36 supply, that's when your first creep tumor can move. Drop another creep tumor, you're going to inject your third, or your natural, and then you're going to walk them down towards your third base. Very soon your main queen is going to pop. When that guy pops, you'll start another queen at your natural. So I started it at my natural already. So I'm up to right now, I've got 3 queens out, 4th on the way, my third just opened. I want to start a 5th queen right now. I'm going to get 1 set of Lings, just in case he comes in with some Hellions or something like that very soon. I've got a bunch of queens, and I'll have about 6 Lings to kind of take care of any weird shenanigans that would happen in about 4 minutes. But from Terran, there's not a lot that's going on right now. You can also start going to check your third. So inject, and then I'm going to start another queen immediately. So always inject, send a single Ling out. Whenever you inject, you also creep spread.
A new queen has emerged.
As soon as your fourth queen pops, your seventh queen starts up. I didn't rally properly on this, unfortunately, so a little bit of a mistake. But now I've got 4 queens, and now I'm gonna make 10, or I'm gonna make 20 Lings total right now before I drone up to 51 workers. So this is, now I'm at 51. 74. Bit of a supply block here. I screwed up one overlord. It's my bad. Let's see where I stop right here at 5 minutes. Let's see what I got.
A new queen has emerged.
Boom. All right, so let's take a look. So right here at 5 minutes, I am at 50 workers. Should be at 51, but I have a larva, so there's my 51st worker right there. I just haven't spent it yet. 20 Lings, 7 queens. And I've got some pretty decent creep spread. I've missed these creep tumors, I think, maybe twice. So I could have creep spread all the way out to here. I think I missed one set. Let's see here. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I missed one set of creep out here. I could have it a little bit farther as well. But this is a really good opener here. So right at 5 minutes, I have all of this army out. And this is really good for any kind of Terran opener aggression. If they're going to do like the 2-1-1 that hits right about now, 4 queens plus backup queen here, or here, plus 20 Zerglings, basically cleans up anything that's going on like that. Right after this, I start the hatchery. I'll show you. I start basically hatchery. I'm going to get double Evo and Baneling Nest. There it is. Then I'm going to drone up to about 60 workers and saturate all of my gases. And get up to 60 workers again. So this is how Serral does it. This is how Serral does it, and I really like this opener. I've been practicing this opener quite a bit, and I like at this 5-minute mark, I mean, basically I'm just sitting here, and once I have more APM, I'll be sending out Zerglings to see what's going on in his bases and make sure I'm not getting hit. I've got some decent Overlord spread. My creep spread should be a little bit better, but it's just at this point now, I wait till the hatch is done, get a Hydralisk Den, and then I just mass out Ling Bane Hydra. So once I hit 66 workers, just start making Lings and Overlords until your Hydralisk Den is done. I make 20 Hydras, 5 just sit up here. Just show you real quick. 5 just sit up here. The rest go into my army, and then I've got 4 Infestors. So I'll just kind of put this up really quick. Show the units going on. So there it is, 6 minutes. You get your Hydralisk Den. Keep your injects moving. Take your 4th base and a macro hatch right about 6 minutes. Start making Lings now that I'm on 66 workers. Starting to make Hydras. Once I make 15, that's my control group of 15 here. Then I get 5 more up into my main base. On tries to do some weird drop shenanigans. Then I get my infestation pit. I make some infestors. I'm just spending my cash as much as I can at 66 workers, 4 infestors, and I'm going to max out right here about 9 minutes. And there we go. So 908 I max out right here. So I always max out with the same thing, 66 workers. I got a few less Hydras this time. I usually get 20 Hydras. 16, 4 infestors, 7 queens, and then from here I go into Hive. I get some upgrades for this. I get 3/3, Adrenal Glands, and I push across the map and I kill things. So this is Serral's build, and this is what I've been working on as much as possible. It's pretty fun. And you basically make Banes when you need to make Banes. But there's nothing like, you don't need safety Banes because you got so many queens. So this is the first opener. Again, right now, look at 5 minutes. What do we have actually out on the map, and what do we have in the pot? Right at 5 minutes. Right at 5 minutes, we've got 51, 27, 10, I guess, right now. And then in the pot, we've got tech coming with a layer on the way. So that is his Ling Queen opener, which is very effective. I really like it. And I'll show you his roach opener now. This is the one that I'm working on. I haven't done quite as many games with this one. But this one's a little bit of a more, I guess, safe, quote-unquote, opener. Requires a little bit more scouting, but if you think there's going to be some shenanigans, or if he's doing something that's like, I know how this guy plays, it's just a little bit different. But I like this build also. So this is a pretty standard opener for a Zerg. Have fun, set the camera locations, just getting the muscle memory down. Mm-hmm. 150 minerals, you pull your worker, make sure that your drones don't get all stupid. They look fine. Take it at 16 again, so this is a 16 hatch. Again, rally your worker. Because I play this against my Protoss. This is my Protoss opener, so I always go 16 hatch in case they try to pylon block me. Pool, pretty standard stuff. Now the previous build you would see, Sarah usually pulls off gas before his speed is before he's at 100 gas, because he's going to get his hatchery really quick, and he also wants to have his speed a little bit delayed to not deal with that. So I do it's different on this build because you're going to get this 19 overlord right here. You're going to see me make this overlord here. Now because I'm making that 19 overlord, I can send this bad boy right into the heat of it up here to see what's going on. If I lose it, it's not as big. It doesn't supply block me as hard as the previous build. I get a few more defense lings on this than I did in my last game. You'd see it when I hit 44 supply on the last build. I get a bunch of lings to kind of stay defensive. This one, you kind of drop your tech first a little bit. So 7. Once you have 100 gas, you pull off. Send your second pulled off drone to your third base. Start speed. So speed's coming in right on time. Now you're going to wait at 27 supply, and you're going to take your third base right at 27. So I take 27 both times. You can take it at 31 if you want. I like doing it at 27.
A new queen has emerged.
So I mixed this up, actually. I did an inject on that one by mistake. Kind of my bad. So I might play around and change up to 31 on the hatch, but I'm not sure yet. I'll have to kind of look at it, play around a bit. So I'm going to show you what's going on now. I'm trying to get up to 40 supply, start my next queen. There she goes. Right as my first one pops, start at the second. Creep spread.
Evolution complete.
Getting ready for this. Put back into gas, add 44 supply. Creep tumor down here. Because I'm getting a bunch of queens and stuff like that, I don't have the money to actually spend the larva, so there's no reason to inject. Might as well get creep instead. So now I'm trying to get up to 44 workers as soon as I can. I'm on 39.
A new queen has emerged.
Inject. Up to 44 workers. At 44 workers, Roach Warden, 2 gas, and then I should start my layer right now. I messed that up. I should start the layer right now. Bit of a mistake. Still working on it. You'll see at the end I'm still in like the same basic position I was. I'm still in like the right spot.
A new
So now we're getting up to 51 workers. At 51 workers,
need
we make 3 overlords right now because we're about to make a whole mess of roaches here in a second. As soon as this pops, it should be a little bit earlier. We make 10 roaches. So I'll wait until the 10 roaches go in. Okay, here we go. So I'm 13 seconds late on this. I'm 13 seconds late. We'll see what we've got right now. So again, right now, instead of 7 queens, we've got 5. We have 8 lings out right now. But at this point, I would have 7 queens and 20 lings. Here, I'm going to be about 5:30, right when right when a lot of the Protoss shenanigans come in, like a what is it? Twilight Council timing. Right is about at 5:30, and about at 5:30 is when I'm going to have 10 roaches, some queens and lings out on the map. I can usually defend any of that stuff, and then behind that you get into your lair and you start maxing out. So just so you could take a look at these 2 openers. So this is his roach opener. I'm still working on it. It's not the perfect cleanliness right now, and I should be the roaches should be a little bit quicker, but I missed a couple injects because I'm not super comfortable with this build yet. And yeah, so these are the 2 openers that I'm working on. I don't have my ZVZ opener done yet, but I'm going to be using this one against Protoss. I'm going to be using the last one against Terran. And once I get my Zerg opener from Cyril as well, I will let you guys see that. But hopefully you liked it. If you're interested in some of these builds or anything like that, let me know. One of the really good learning points I got from Cyril is watch some of his replays and watch what drone supply he makes. What he does at specific drone supplies. So I noticed a lot of time he'll do stuff at 44 drones and at 51 drones and 36. So those are his kind of like get to these positions, 36 workers, 44 workers, and 51. If you might ask why 36, let me see, 36 I think is, let me do some quick math. 36 minus 16 minus 16. So it's basically 36 is basically 2 mineral lines and 1 gas plus 1 extra worker for some tech building. That's 36. 44 is exactly 1 full saturated mineral line. 1 full saturated mineral line. 1, 2, 3, 4 gas is 44 workers. So you could have 2 fully saturated bases at 44 if you're doing like an all-in or something like that. What he usually likes to do is 16, 3, 16, 3, 3, 10. And that's perfectly 51. So it's easy to see once I keep my first and second hatchery perfectly saturated, and as soon as I get 10 on this hatchery, I know that I'm at 51, so I don't even need to really look at my base here. Or, for the Ling Bane one, because I only do 1 gas, it's 16, 3, 16, 16. So I'm missing 6 workers. That's because 3 of them are on this gas and 3 of them are on this gas. So if you look at my 2 openers, this is where he stops at 51 almost always. And 51, that's when he's going to be checking, hey, what are they doing? Are they taking a third? Are they coming across the map with a whole bunch of stuff? If that's the case, roaches, baby. We're just going to make a whole mess of roaches on this build. So this is kind of a very easy all-in-ish build, and I like how it sets you up here. Right at about 5 minutes is when you would see a whole bunch of stuff moving across the map. And if I need to, I can just go, all right, let's hold down the R button and crank out some roaches. But yeah, right now I actually don't have any unspent larvae. Maybe because I've missed some injects. That's what I'm assuming. I missed 2 injects. But this is a pretty tight build. I don't have any unspent larvae, and I'm only at like 140 and less than 100 gas. I'm not supply blocked. So this is a very nice, solid, concise, clean opener. I just need to clean it up and cut it down by 13 more seconds. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I will be happy to keep rambling. Until then, I will see you guys in the next one.